Alright everyone, this is Sir Victoria, and welcome back to Elden Ring. Now, as I mentioned, I was farming the soldiers over there a little bit, trying to get a smithing stone, and I actually just finally got one. I got 3 drops total, because your item discovery scales with arcane, so my item drop is not the best. But that's okay, we got what we wanted, and it actually only took me about 5 minutes, so that's nice. So it takes 2 smithing stone, 1 for the first upgrade, and we're going to use it on the Uji Katana. Costs 310 runes, so that's not bad, and it'll buff our damage. Not a whole lot, but it could be enough to make a difference. Excuse me. So, yeah, it'll go up. The base will go up by 6, and then the bonus will go up by 2, because it ups the scaling a little bit as well. So we get plus 8 to the damage. Not really great, but, you know, it's starting. Okay. Now, I've actually already got the grace for that place, because I was kind of just going back and forth from it and here, farming the soldiers. So we're going to Groveside Cave. I'll give you a better show of where it is once we're actually in there. Now, you may notice, of course, my map is really bare, and that's because in each location, you have to go find the map for that location before it's fully revealed. Okay, so we're in Groveside Cave, and where that is you come out here. The church is actually just over there. You can see we're here, and here's the church. Here's that little path through the woods where the soldiers are, so Groveside Cave's right here along the cave mouth, and honestly, it's a little hard to miss since the fire's right out front. So we came in. Now this one's gonna have wolves in it. As with the demi-humans, I think the main danger of the wolves is that they can outnumber you, and therefore they can just surround and go in for the kill. The dire wolf in the middle there is also a decent problem, as you can see from the bloodstains apparently. A lot of people have had trouble with it. Luckily, we've got the power to one-tap the smaller wolves. That is a very big advantage we have here. Oh, okay. I think we actually got a blood trigger there. Luckily, this place is also a good place to come in and farm thin beast bones and get a decent amount of runes for it, as opposed to just hunting random wildlife. Now we got a cracked pot that can be used for crafting. They're not called fire bombs in this, but essentially the fire bombs can attack. As you can see, the wolves can also chain some attacks together, so just watch out for them. They're not too bad, honestly, but as with most enemies in a Souls game, if you underestimate them, you can get wrecked. Now there was a bunch of silver fireflies there, and a golden rune, of course. Okay, got him. I'm gonna go ahead and craft some more arrows while we're at it. Actually, we're gonna craft some fletched bone arrows. It takes feathers to craft them as well, but they do work a little bit better than the regular arrows because of the fletchings. I think they have a greater range. Also grabbing cave moss along the way. Now we're gonna fight Beastman of Farum Azula. First, I want to see just how effective our bow is. Decent damage. You want to watch out because he can actually chain some attacks. Great effect. He also has a decent amount of poise, so be careful. He's hard to stagger. We're going to go into this action combat. Yep, as soon as he starts landing hits, it is going to hurt. Yep, stagger me. That unsheathed equal damage that I was hoping for. I thought it was dead. But we did it, and we got the Flame Drake Talisman. I'm not going to equip it yet, because honestly, with the stuff we're fighting, there's really no need to. But as you can see, 3 right hand, 3 left hand, bolts, arrows, armor. We also have a Talisman slot, and we'll get some more slots as we go through the game to my knowledge, you can only get 4. That's how many I ended the game with. And then, of course, 10 item slots here. Which, anything I want to equip in those? I don't think so. Not yet. But yes, you can equip talismans here, which are basically your rings for Dark Souls players. Alright, we're actually just going to fast travel to it instead of taking the teleporter here, so that we'll technically spawn out of the Grace and have healed and everything. Okay, now we're going to proceed forward finally and move on. We're heading... Oh, well, there's a few people standing in the front. Take care of them. Anytime an enemy has that white burst come out of them, it means they dropped an item. Okay, we got more bolts. Bolts, we're probably just going to sell because we're not using crossbows. Honestly, we're barely even using the bow we had. It is nighttime, so some extra enemies are going to come out, like those bats over there. The bats' biggest threat is that there's always at least 3 of them, and they are highly mobile. I don't think they aggroed onto me. Okay, no they didn't. Hiding in foliage does boost your stealth, so just be aware of that. It is a good idea to try. Okay, Gatefront Ruins is a small area defended by a decent group of soldiers. So your big threat here, again, is being outnumbered, but the soldiers do have armor, and they are somewhat intelligent. They can block your attacks, most of them with shields. And, of course, many of them are just going to be good at fighting you because they're experienced soldiers. But, of course, they are still beginner soldiers, so they're not all that strong. What I recommend for this place as one of your first steps is going to be this soldier right here patrolling towards us. Once he gets past us, we're going to backstab him. Should be enough to one-tap him. The reason we want to take him out first is, as you can see at his hip, not only does he have a sword, he has a horn. He's able to signal the rest of the soldiers in the place. Which, of course, could be rather disastrous for us. I'm confident in my ability to attack them, but I'm not confident in my ability to get through shields. Now that one patrolling right there is actually a... See, these are Godric soldiers. And that is a Godric Knight. And the Knights are typically a lot tougher and, you know, a lot harder to kill. As you can see, we just got our map. Anytime you see one of these, there will be a map at it for the area. Yep, we found the map. And, well, the symbol's not showing right here. We haven't been anywhere new for it to show up. You may have noticed when I was looking at the map before that there was a symbol in this area that kind of looked like an obelisk, like that does. That would have been the symbol to show that, hey, there's a map here. Now we're going to try to take out this fort quietly. Just because I don't want too much trouble. But we are going to take it out because I want the extra runes, and because most ruins like this will have loot. And there will be a chest somewhere, and most of them will also have an underground hidden place. Most of these underground sections will have a boss for you to fight. Not all of them, of course. Some of them just lead to a chest, like this one. But most of them will have a boss. Okay, let's turn the other way. So we're going to rush and take on this guy. Soldier Dreams. You'll also notice that that popped up down in the corner. And that is because that is an item I haven't got yet. So yeah, that's an item I already have. I haven't picked those items up yet, so they actually popped up right there. Okay, come on. Enemies with shields are definitely going to be one of my toughest to tackle, simply because, of course, I have to break through a shield. Okay, we're going to take this item for sure. Anytime you see the big carriages like this, on one end there may be a chest for you to open. There was actually one to the north end as well. That flail I may actually end up using. How does it compare to the Uchi Katana? I don't have the dex for it yet. It has 109 base and similar scaling. It has a little bit higher blood. I didn't realize we got a forked hatchet. I think I'm actually going to equip the forked hatchet as a backup. It does a little bit more bleed, but it has terrible reach, so we're just going to stick with the Uchi Katana. The other weapon, or the other one I know for sure I'm not going to use, because that is the Lord Sworn's Greatsword, which the Lord Sworn's Greatsword and the Lord Sworn's Straight Sword you can both get really easily in this area as drops, or well, the Straight Sword you can as drops from the soldiers here. And they are actually pretty decent weapons for the stage. They do more damage than most of the starting weapons, and additionally they do 110 critical instead of the simple 100 normal critical, which may not seem like a massive boost, but it does a lot more than you would expect it to, with it just being a 10 difference. We're going to try to backstab this knight, and that will be massive help for taking him down. Okay, need to lure him away from the others. He's faster than them, so it shouldn't be too hard to get him separated from the crowd, because there is still a decent amount over there. And just with that hit, I got green. Bounce off his shield. As I said, once the shield is in, than I expected. We didn't get any loot off him. With my tanky character, this is actually the first guy I farmed to get his entire armor set. I wasn't able to get his shield to drop at the time, but he is definitely a very good starting armor set for anyone who wants a tankier build. Should be another wolf around here somewhere as well. Hit there, but it was worth it to get the spearman out of the way. Alright, as you can see, that red flare there, that means it was the last enemy in the area, and I just got a healing flashback. And here's this little underground section. Run over in here, and we have a chest. Some chests are trapped, and I'll try to remember which ones they are to warn you. But here we got Ash of War, Storm Stomp, and we have the Whetstone Knife, which means we can finally use Ashes of War. I will explain them after our little stint at this grace over here. Now that we've reached this grace, we should get our maiden. Oh, its wings. And we'll also be able to call upon Torrent, the spectral horse. Looks a little bit more like a goat than a horse to me, but I like it. And we can level up as well. Just chilling by the fire.
Greetings.
Hello?
Traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Sup?
I offer you an accord.
Alright. We have our maiden. She's gonna offer
Have
to
you
travel
heard
with
of
us and
they
such.
serve the two, but you, I can turning route to aid you. You need to the foot.
Yeah, she
Then
wants to
it's
go with
settled.
you to the foot of the Erd tree.
I bequeath.
Gives us the ring to summon Torrent.
Use it. It will summon as Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with.
Okay. So first of all, we're gonna go ahead and level
Shall I
up.
let my hand share them with me.
Okay.
Your thoughts.
I'm gonna say we
Your
have about 4
ambitions.
levels worth of runes.
The principles you would follow.
So we're gonna go ahead and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, we're gonna leave our strength where it is for now. We'll worry about our strength later when, oh, I actually have enough for 5. Nice. We'll worry about strength later when we have more katanas and have a better grasp of what we'll need for them. For now, I know most of the katanas have a lot more of a dexterity requirement than strength. Okay. So we have more health. We have more stamina and equip load. And a little bit more damage. Excuse me. Okay. Now that we're here, we have a whetstone blade, so we can do Ashes of War. Now, Ashes of War, I've already picked up 2. And what they do is each one has certain weapons it can apply to. Like this one, it won't tell me what it applies to at the moment. But essentially, you can change what skill your weapon has. So let's go ahead and look at the 2 we have. I am sorry, I'm kind of stopped up. There they are. So we have Stamp, Sweep. And what this is do, we brace the armament, step into a low stance that prevents recoil from most enemy attacks, and then we follow up with a strong attack for a sweeping strike. So this is applicable to swords, axes, and hammers, small and medium swords excepted. So short swords and such, you won't be able to use that on. While Storm Stomp can be applied on all melee armaments. So apparently the sweep is not applicable to our Uchikatana. This one of the skills that channel the Tempest of Stormveil, stomp hard on the ground to kick up a momentary storm. So this one will summon up a lot of wind around us. It's a good way to stagger enemies that are surrounding us. Huh. We picked up a little bit of armor. Let's do a quick check here. It's a little heavier, but it does offer us a little bit better in some stats, but also worse in others. This one has great physical resistances, but we lose some elemental resistance. Although it does give us better poise. I think I will switch the gauntlets, as well as the greaves. About the same. A lot of the resistances on the side aren't really going to matter at this point, though the poise is still important. It allows us to keep striking, though we're getting smacked. Okay. We're going to shortcut real quick this right here. This is going to be the Whistle for Torrent. So now, summon the boy. Look at him. Isn't he great? And now, I think it's time. Should I ride or teleport? We'll just ride. For us to go take on Tree Sentinel. We don't have a whole lot of runes to lose. You can attack on horseback, though typically you can only perform 3 swing light attack chains, and you can do a heavy attack, but you can charge the heavy. Anything you hit while charging it as well will take damage. See, we're not doing the greatest damage at the moment, but we're going to give him a try. Okay, let's go ahead and rush to the brace. neither of the Ashes of War we have are really ones that I want to apply to the Uji Katana. I do have one in mind, and it's going to take us a little bit to get it.
Well, there are others of my people, if the mood my people, which
So he
is
tells
why,
you about
thanks,
the other
I think
merchants.
this make your people. Perhaps you don't see that. No, we have a saying: lament not your but. That is our code, just the way we.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and sell some items I never use personally. Might as well sell these runes as well. If you want to sell the runes, luckily they will sell for exactly as much as you would get by popping them. So that's good. We'll go ahead and sell the items we're just not going to use. I want to keep the flail just because I love the concept of the flail, and I may actually end up using it later. Rickety shield, soldier helm. We're going to keep the Land of Reeds armor just in case I want to swap back to it at some point. And now we can purchase. What do we want? Now you can buy notes as well, and these will basically give you hints about certain things to head to. Luckily, I already know the information given in these, so I'm not going to bother. We will go ahead and buy a torch. Honestly, yeah, I'm going to stock up on arrows.
Goodbye.
We're going to try to fight him on horseback. I think we'll have a much better chance of it there. Actually, before we fight him, I'm going to swap our cerulean flask over so we have 5 crimson tears. 5 heals is a little better than 4. And I'm not really able to use the skills off of horseback. Now, if I had magic, I could cast off of horseback. But we're not using magic. Let's go get him. Better damage than I hoped. Come on, then, you big brute. We're gonna apply hit and run tactics. The downside of this is that you will not need progress lead. Charge attack is 107. Yeah, that hurt. Careful. Roll! Yeah, I couldn't get out of the way. There you have the downside of horseback combat. With horseback combat, if you are knocked off your horse, which you do by just taking substantial damage, you will be vulnerable for a brief moment. Now, of course, that moment wasn't terribly long, but it was enough to get me killed.
This way, Tarnished.
Oh,
May
she's
I
here.
have a word?
And all the fog is here too. Oh, is Kali asleep? I didn't know she put him to sleep for this. Cool. Well, while we have the moment,
A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished. I am the witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon looking into the matter, the talk, I surmise, is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent.
I am.
As I had hoped, I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
So now we have the spirit calling bell.
'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them with it. from ash and return to the Erdtree. The spirits will obey thine command but briefly. And now it is thine.
The Spirit Caller Bell, you don't actually equip the item, but it enables us to use the ashes we found before. We'll go ahead and go with that. What would be the best here? We'll go with the wolves. I think I have enough. Yeah, I have 71 FP. So what you do is you equip the ashes you want to use. Each one has an FP cost and, you know, summons different things. You ring the bell using the ashes. Sorry, that was trying to come out. You ring the bell and you summon spirits to help you. Now you can only do it when a little tombstone appears over where it says your skill to the side. So where it says unsheath over there, a tombstone will appear over that, which we can do that for Tree Sentinel and make it better on us.
Forgive mine intrusion. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, how long will it be, I wonder, before the tarnished tire of obeisance to the 2 fingers?
Goodbye. Alright, so now we can summon assistance. See, that tombstone is there. And then we have 3 lone wolves, which all have their own health bars, of course. Yep, that hurt, but luckily that was just a basic sweep. Too much. Generally, if I can see his attacks coming, I'm good at least dodging the sweep. Can't move? Okay. He is going to absolutely destroy the wolves, but they will give the distraction I need to rush in. What the hell? As you can see what hit me that time. And they'll do a little bit extra damage to him, so nothing too substantial, but that was bad. Okay. Okay, he's doing his jump now. The jump he does is the most deadly attack that he has. And of all the ones, it is the one I fear the most, as it is big. And it is rather difficult for me to deploy, especially on horseback. I think jumping does help though, because it is an AoE quake, so you should be able to just jump over the radius of it. Come on, then. The downside of spirit summoning is you can only do it once. Okay, that is a little questionable in my opinion, but okay, we got this. Stuck in a tree. He doesn't have that problem. He just goes right through the trees. Okay, though, we got this. Yeah, obviously, the jump is the most damaging attack we have. Who would have guessed? Dropping a massive armor-plated knight and horse on top of someone would instantly. We need a bit more visibility. See better what's actually happening. That may hurt. Okay, missed. Even with my tanky knight build, I did have some problems with it. Ah! Heal. Luckily, when you use a flash to heal, it heals torrent as well. Of course, at this stage, torrent has a lot more health than I do. My flash is on the last one. Not good. Stuck. Okay. You also don't have to charge. That's all. That may be bad. Nope. Okay. A few more hits. That's all it's going to take. Ah, he used that ability. I'm not entirely sure why he used that. That ability can negate magical attacks and actually return them at the cast. And at this stage of the game, with the base of the casts, they'll probably be a lot stronger than me. And that's it. Got it. Alright. And we get his Halberd. Now, the Golden Halberd is not a weapon that I'm going to be using this playthrough, but I very highly recommend it for anyone who's putting time into strength and faith. It takes 30 strength and 12 faith to wield, but it is a very, very solid choice of a weapon. It has excellent upgrade scaling whenever you do upgrade it. At plus 9, it does over 300 with the physical, plus whatever your scaling is. And the holy was a little over 200 as well, so very powerful, and its skill, Golden Vow, can give yourself and nearby allies increased attack power and defense for a short time. So, as you can see, a very solid choice in weapon. And that is Tree Sentinel, killer of noobs. Sidon, if you quit eating fluff out of pillows and such, you wouldn't be choking. You okay? Good boy? You're okay. Alright. Well, I think that's where we're going to go ahead and call this episode. Next episode, we're going to explore more of Limgrave. So, this entire area right here is Limgrave. And we're just going to explore it more, get a lot more of the hidden dungeons and such, NPCs, and just generally be powering ourselves up in preparation. We will go to, let's see, I think up here is considered Stormvale. We will go there a bit, and Eastern Limgrave as well, which is this foggy area right here. Now this, of course, is only a very small section of the map. The map will cover this whole screen. Before we actually go to Stormvale Castle, though, we are going to go south here to a place called Weeping Peninsula, as it is actually a little bit lower level place than the castle itself. But we're going to go to Adia Lake North, and that is where we're going to pick up on the next episode. As with the previous episode, if you have any questions, comments, want to know where to find specific gear or anything like that, or questions about my build even, just leave any comments, and I appreciate the views. As always, until next time, I hope everyone had a great time with the episode, and that you have an amazing day.